Hello everybody, welcome to Holy What. I'm on my couch again. I did this in another episode. Today I have another video from the archive of videos. This is one I did a while back from my garage at another house. That's the only intro you need. Let's jump right in. The garage, for most people, is an interesting room. It's full of lots of different items of varying value. We have everything from this car to this. It's not worth a lot. Our neighborhood, 3 times a year, has this deal where the trash people come and will take anything from your house. The street just fills up with garbage, just trash and piles of junk, just all over the place. And what happens, and this is the other thing that I found really interesting, you'll notice a pickup truck, and you'll see them driving around our neighborhoods full of stuff. And what these people do is they go through and look for any item of value in your pile of junk. I don't know if they're looking to recycle it or looking for like gold, because people just throw gold out in my neighborhood because we're really rich. So people do that. And so my wife and I, we were out like building this pile out in front of our house of our stuff, and this truck drives up, and he has this truck full of other people's stuff, and his trailer's full of stuff, and while we're literally carrying things from our house to this pile in front of our house, and the guy gets out, and right there, as we're taking stuff from our home and throwing it in this pile, he starts going through our stuff. And all of a sudden, I got super possessive with my stuff. And this stuff that I had laid out there as trash for the trash people to come get, I got possessive over because this guy started going through it. I might want that. I might want that old kid's toilet. And so I started thinking about that, like why I got possessive and what does this mean if I was Aaron, who always somehow can attach some kind of biblical truth to things that happen. I thought, what could the biblical truth be here? And the most obvious thing that popped out to me is that, in reality, we as Christians, as people who are trying to, follow God, we typically, at least for myself, I give God my crud. I always have thought it's funny that people, once they get into a relationship with God, at least this is common in like the church world, is that people will say things like, I've given my life to God. And as I started thinking about it more and more, I thought, that's really not true at all. The idea that I've given God my life, at best, I've given God little bits and pieces of my life. And even with those little bits and pieces, I get really possessive. And I think it starts kind of the same way for most people. Like we start off maybe giving God like a Sunday once in a while, because we'll go to church. So we'll give God a little bit of time. And then maybe later on after that, we give God like a little bit of our income. We start doing the tithing thing, and we give God like a little bit of our income. And then we start to feel guilty, and we think, well, I really should pray and read the Bible more. So I'll give God, I'm going to give God 30 minutes. I've done this so many times where I say, I'm going to get up early and give God an extra 30 minutes of my time. And then the next morning, I think, actually, that was a good thought, but probably that 30 minutes is better spent sleeping. I just get possessive over even the little bitty things that I think I'm going to give to God. And so again, that idea of me giving my life to God is so far-fetched. And so I thought, but God, being God, is able to take even our little bits of crud and do something good with them. Kind of like the guy out there that saw value in stuff that we saw no value in. And I thought, well, God can probably do that with what little we give him. But I thought about that more. I thought, really, no, I don't think that's true at all. I think the whole idea of like us or me in particular giving things to God, is just like the wrong idea anyway. Like, yeah, I mean, like, God is really good at taking what we give him and doing good things with it and everything. Like, if I really believe all this like Bible stuff, then God created me. And God created everything else. And so for me to think, I have something to offer you, God. Who do I think I am that I think I can go through my life and figure out what is valuable to God? As if I'm this great person that presents myself to God and I say, God, here's what I think is best. Here's what I think is of value for you to use. You can use this and this and this. I'm going to give these to you, God, because they're valuable. I think in the Bible about Moses and how Moses started his life with a lot. He had a lot of power. He had a lot of money. He had a lot of prestige. I mean, he was Pharaoh's son. And God took every bit of that perceived power away from Moses to where he had like nothing. He couldn't even speak well. And here God was calling him to go do something as bold as setting these Israelites free who had been in bondage for years and years and years and years and years. Like, do you ever think about that? I mean, he had so much. He had everything in that day and age that you could possibly want. And it wasn't until he lost it all that God called him out. It wasn't like Moses left Egypt thinking, well, I'm going to go prepare myself for God. I'm going to go hone in my skills that I learned in Egypt so that God can use me for something great. I mean, Moses had nothing. And so I'm not at all saying that God's not going to use your skills or your talents or the things that he's gifted you with. I'm just saying, at least for me, I've thought for so long that I needed to make something of myself so that God could use me. I just wonder if the place that God wants us, the place that we're most useful to God, is a place of almost emptiness, a place of almost having nothing to give God, a place of total surrender. A couple minutes ago, I stopped the recorder, which is actually a video camera, and I just thought, man, this is just stupid. Like, this isn't going to help anybody. I'm just talking out of my butt. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't even think God's even talking through me like I wish that he did. You know, I wish I just get this feeling like God's just speaking through me, and I don't. And so I stopped the recorder, again, the camera, and just thought, man, this is so stupid. I'm just going to delete all this. And then I thought, well, maybe this is exactly what I'm talking about, though. Like, I get so possessive over everything that I think, God, you can't use this. I just get possessive over everything. I think God's kind of like, just let me use you. Quit worrying about what you can and can't do and what you are and are not good at. That doesn't matter. I don't need you. Like, God totally loves us and wants to use us. But it's not like God's sitting here thinking, gosh, I'd love Jason to make a better video. Gosh, I'd really like to accomplish things, and I can't do it without Jason's gift of videoing. What is videoing? I don't even know. But I get possessive over it. Like, this is no good, God. You can't have this. You can't have this part of me because it's not good enough. And I think God's like, it's not even about what you give to me. I will accomplish what I want to accomplish with or without you. We so quickly and so easily hold on to everything, whether it's an actual possession like money or our kids. That's a tough one. That's a whole nother topic. Our safety, our sense of security, our comfort, that's a really big one. Giving over our comfort to God. We're just so possessive over everything. I mean, even something like this that I'm like, oh, this is something I want to do for God, and as I do it, I think, oh, no, I never mind, God. I mean, if this video, for example, the only way this is going to do anything for anybody, if it's helpful to you at all, I tell you, it has so nothing to do with me. I'm awful. Like, this is no good. This is what you're watching right now. This is dumb. This is stupid. The only way it's going to impact you is because God is impacting you. It's not me at all. Because I don't even think this, because if it was up to me, I wouldn't even release this. But I feel like this is kind of what I'm trying to deal with right now, is just letting go and not being possessive over anything. and just letting God do whatever He wants. So I'm putting this out there. That's why you're watching this, is because I'm just trusting that God can maybe do something through it. Totally not.